Here, you're ready for your dose of reality. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Doctor Quack podcast. I'm your host, Doctor Quack, and
I'm the lead detective in today's case, the important one, Mr. Mayhem. And today, we're looking at a cold case of somebody who deserves to be in the World Wrestling Entertainment's Hall of Fame.
That's right. We are looking at Ivan Koloff.
The great Ivan Koloff, known for many, many years as the Russian Bear. However, Ivan Koloff was actually born in Montreal, Canada.
Yes. This was a time where professional wrestlers, they could be Italian, they were Canadian. If they looked sort of Russian, they were turned into Russians. A lot of wrestlers had that happen to them.
Yes, because he had a rough, kind of gravelly voice naturally, so they decided to use that and make him sound like he was trying to speak Russian, and it made him very monstrous. I mean, he was only 5'10", but he was like 265, 270 pounds. A very powerful man.
Yeah, I mean, this was around the Cold War time, correct?
Yeah, his first match was in 1961, so this was the height of the Cold War. In fact, we had just recently had the cruise missile crisis, Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yes.
Had either just happened or was just about to happen by the time he started. It doesn't say specifically when in 61 he started. So Ivan Koloff, they used the natural fears of the Cold War, and he was successful for 30 years as the Russian Bear.
Yeah, I mean, his biggest accomplishment, I mean, there's a lot of them he's had, but his biggest accomplishment, of course, was defeating Bruno Sammartino after his long tenured reign. I believe it was 2,000 days, something like that.
I didn't look at the days. It's like 2,800 days, but it's over 7.5 years. Bruno Sammartino held the World Heavyweight title. A feat that has not been touched by any other former world champion ever. The closest is Bruno Sammartino for 5.5 years. So Bruno has held his own, he's seconded his own record.
Yeah. I mean, it's so wild just how long he held that title. But that gap just proves how much, importance Ivan Koloff was.
Yes, and Vince Sr. showed enough respect to this man to allow him to be the transitional champion of taking the title off of Bruno Sammartino and helping transfer it over to Pedro Morales, another very big name, who Bruno's in the Hall of Fame and Pedro Morales is in the Hall of Fame. Why not Ivan Koloff?
Right. And another transition guy, if you look from Backlund to Hogan, there was a transition guy there for roughly 28 days, I believe, and that would be the Iron Sheik. He's in the Hall of Fame. You're telling me that Ivan Koloff doesn't belong? That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we did a little analysis, and when we look at the history of this man, we want to focus on big name, national kinds of titles or large regional, like for the National Wrestling Alliance in the 70s and 80s, their regional titles meant something because they were part of the big national network. So holding a regional title in the National Wrestling Alliance was a big deal. And when we went through and did a count, he was known for his tag team for most of the 80s as the Russian team with Nikita Koloff, they billed him as his nephew, and Crusher Khrushchev, who was also known as Demolition Smash.
Yes.
And even Don Kernodle, who was a turncoat, a jokes turncoat American who became a Russian athlete for a while. So between those groups, he held 15 NWA titles that were either regional or what the NWA considered their world title. And 2 more 6-man World Tag Team Championships. So a total of 17 tag team titles, either tag team or 6-man.
Yeah. I mean, and you look at it like this, okay? He's in the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame, the Cauliflower Alley Club there. He got the Iron Mike Mazuki Award You know, that was another one, the Frank Gotch Award over for the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. He ended up, you know, really having a stellar career.
He did. He really had a stellar career. Again, he started in 1961. His last match was in 2013. He wrestled in Rome, Georgia, and then he had to retire because he had liver cancer, and he passed away 4 years later. So he put himself together a 50-year wrestling career. He even holds a win in Eastern Championship Wrestling against the Sandman.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy here that totally deserves it. I mean, I hope this year in the WWE Hall of Fame that they do put him in. I mean, yes, I know it's became kind of a joke with certain guys being in the Hall of Fame, but this guy definitely deserves to be in it.
Yes, and as we were talking about with tag team titles, we looked at his again, NWA titles. This doesn't include his WWF reign. He held the Florida Heavyweight title 5 times, the Maple Leaf Canadian Heavyweight title once. He held 4 times. He held the Mid-Atlantic Heavyweight title, the World Television title 3 times, and the NWA Charlotte title 1 time, as well as 5 secondary titles. Those are the Southern title under the Mid-Atlantic. So all in all, he was an accomplished singles champion and an accomplished tag team champion, as well as a great stable leader.
Yeah. I mean, the guy was talented. The guy pretty much, you know, you look during the 70s, you couldn't not see him in there.
Yep.
And even the 80s.
70s and the 80s. And we even reviewed some of his matches when we did our Starcade reviews.
Yes.
So I think the analysis is complete. I think we have a very good picture of what happened here today in the career of Ivan Koloff. And I definitely say yes, he deserves to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. He's in every other Hall of Fame. He deserves to be in the WWE's.
And I give it my thumbs up there too. I mean, seriously, that guy, how can you have a Hall of Fame without him?
That is very true. Very, very true. Man deserves a lot of respect. And he's also respected by everybody who ever worked with him and everybody who never ever knew him. He was somebody who didn't take advantage of the situation. He didn't take liberties with the young talent. He was a very good mentor, a very good trainer. So he's earned the respect of all the boys and girls in wrestling. He's earned our respect as well.
Yes, he really has. Well, there you go, folks. There's our case for Ivan Koloff. Look at next week as we decide on a person that's in the Hall of Fame. Will he be there? Will we decide if he'll be there?
Ooh, this one's going to be interesting.
Yes, it will. And we will dissect that next week. I'm your host, Doctor Quack.
And I'm the lead detective, the important one, Mr. Mayhem, reminding you, keep track of our cold case and leave us comments telling you who you think we should look at for the WWE Hall of Fame or even the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame as somebody you think maybe does or does not deserve to be there. Leave us those comments and we'll do the analysis.
And I'm out.